I hope I'm not bothering you, Elliot. If you still have work to do, I understand.
No, it's all right. And in about a half an hour, I have to screen some footage for the 10 o'clock news, but other than that, I'm all yours.
Sure?
Absolutely.
Great. Because I am so excited. I can't wait to show you the space I found for the boutique.
It's not either of the ones we looked at the other day?
Nope, and I think it's better located than those. And maybe after we take a look at the space, we can have some dinner. That is, if you're free.
I'd like that very much.
You know, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing any of this, Elliot.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
Your friendship means a great deal to me.
Dad,
Ryan's not here yet, Grant.
Has he called?
No. Are you worried?
No, not really. I was just thinking what a rough day he's had, what with the outcome of the board meeting.
The way those people don't believe that he didn't misuse company funds. You know him better than that.
He'll prove them wrong, Jenny. He seems rather optimistic about this meeting this afternoon.
Is there something that you're not telling me?
No, just that he's meeting with somebody who can tie Parnell to Alex's death.
Hi, Rena.
Hi, honey. Hello, Grant. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Is Ryan back yet?
No, not yet. Grant, why didn't you go to the meeting with Ryan?
Because whoever set it up made Ryan promise he'd go alone.
I don't know. I have a feeling that something's wrong. Be going. I have to pick up the keys from the real estate man.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Nice seeing you, Dennis.
Dennis, you might have said something.
I didn't have anything to say to her. By the way, did she tell you that our divorce is final today?
No, she didn't.
Yes, it's official. We're both, free now.
I'm glad you came by. I tried to reach you all day.
Well, I spent most of my day at the country club. I'm taking up golf.
Golf?
Yes. It's a very relaxing, enjoyable way to spend some time.
Well, I suppose so.
Well, what did you want to talk to me about?
Well, I was wondering when you were returning to work. That is, if you're planning to come back.
Well, I was thinking of coming in tomorrow for a few hours, but I do intend to talk to Vicky about lightening my workload a little.
Well, that's not a bad idea. You still seeing Dr. Jeffries?
Dr. Jeffries? Yeah, the psychiatrist, yeah. Yeah, I saw him as soon as I got back from my little vacation on the yacht. I'll probably see him again in a couple of days.
So, everything's going all right?
Just fine.
I'm glad. I must say you look nice and rested.
I feel nice and rested. The reason I came by, Dad, was to ask you if you might be free for dinner tonight.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not, Dennis.
Got a date?
As a matter of fact, I told Paige I'd have dinner with her.
Thanks. Why don't you sit down and relax for a while?
I'm okay.
Grant, do you think Ryan is in any danger?
I don't know. He's much too smart to place himself in any unnecessary jeopardy.
Ryan was just awfully calm this afternoon before he left the office. Too calm.
That only means that he's not worried, honey.
Or that he is worried and he was trying to cover for my sake. He really should be home by now.
You're letting your imagination run away with you.
Didn't you used to do that with Max?
Yes, but I was usually wrong, wasn't I? Come on, sit down.
I understand that T.J. Canfield was very impressive at the board meeting.
Have you met him yet, Grant?
No. I went over to Stryker's office, but he'd already gone. Rena, how much longer is Stryker going to be in Venezuela?
I have no idea.
Was Canfield going to stay here until he gets back?
I don't know that either.
I get the feeling that you're not a big fan.
Let's just say that all I care about is whether he's a good lawyer.
Well, he must be if he's in your father's firm.
That's what I'm counting on.
Jenny, how are the arrangements for the wedding going?
We're going to talk about those tonight.
Well, I was kind of afraid that you might be thinking of postponing it because of the board action.
No. He promised we'd get married as planned, and Ryan always keeps his promises.
Mr. Connor.
Yeah.
Our emergency team picked up a man that's been shot. The lady with him says you might need some help.
Yeah, I do need some help. I want you to arrest this man for the murder of Alex Wheeler.
So that's why Paige came by, to see if you were free for dinner.
Well, actually, she came by to ask if I'd go look at a space that she's planning to lease for her new shop.
Her new shop.
Oh, that's right, you don't know. She plans to open a boutique. I think she should be very good at that sort of thing, don't you?
Probably.
And she thought as long as we were meeting, we should have dinner. Does it bother you that we're having dinner together?
No. Paige and I are free now. She can have dinner with whomever she feels like having dinner with.
Well, I think that's a very healthy attitude, Dennis, for everyone concerned.
Do you plan to continue seeing Paige?
I'd like to.
Would she like to, too? I mean, it seems to me that I just talked to her not too long ago, and she said she wasn't planning on seeing you again at all.
Dennis, Paige and I are friends.
But you'd like it to be more than that, wouldn't you, Dad?
Yes, I would. I can't lie to you about it. Although I admit to feeling a little awkward about the whole thing.
Because of your feelings for Paige?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
Because of me.
Well, you are my son. It makes it a little
Well,
more
actually, I'm not your son at all, if it means anything to you. Look, I'm sorry. You know I didn't mean it like that.
Well, I don't mean for you to feel responsible for my feeling guilty.
Your feeling guilty doesn't seem to have bothered you too much.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it didn't stop you from taking Paige to the Marshall cabin that night a few weeks ago in the rain.
Dennis, neither of us was aware of our feelings for each other until that night. You have to believe that.
I do. At any rate, Dad, I don't want you to feel guilty.
You really don't?
I talked all that out with Dr. Jeffries.
And he helped you?
Well, he made me see that you're no more responsible for your feelings than I am for mine. And he also made me realize that any feelings of resentment or anger I have are very natural, and that it'll take a little time to get over them. But I am getting over them, Dad.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I better get going and let you get back to work so that you can make your dinner tonight.
Dennis, you've come through a very difficult period. And I want you to know I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of me too, Dad. Good night, all. See you tomorrow.
All right. Good night, Dennis.
How is he?
Well, he's lost a lot of blood. The first thing we have to do is try to stabilize him.
Is he going to be all right?
Well, we're going to have to operate on him to determine the extent of the damage. The bullet entered the left lung.
It's pretty serious, isn't it?
Well, it could be worse. Now, as far as we can tell, it hasn't damaged any other organs, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be rough. I think maybe you should get something to eat. We have a long wait ahead of us.
Well, when can I see Joe? Can you tell
I'll
me?
let you know.
I'll be here.
Don't give up hope. He's young and he's very strong.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Weber, 8-1. Dr. Weber, 8-1.
Ricky? This is Elena. I'm at Gulf Coast Hospital. Could you come here? I need you. Well, Beth made some canopies if anyone's interested.
I'll have one.
Okay.
Thank you, Jenny.
Rena, you must be exhausted from your trip. Why don't you go lie down for a while?
No, I want to talk to Ryan.
Okay. Grant, why do you suppose Dennis decided to support Iris rather than Ryan at the board meeting?
I've no idea.
Did you ever ask her?
Yes, but she won't talk to discuss it.
Did you tell her about last night?
Yes, I did.
What about last night?
Well, Ryan asked Dennis if he would postpone the board meeting so he could gather evidence to prove his innocence. And at first, Dennis refused, then he changed his mind. He said he would support Ryan if Ryan would tell him what kind of evidence he expected to gather.
Well, that sounds like a reasonable trade to me.
But it was a trick.
How do you know that?
Because I saw Dennis coming out of Justin's office right before Ryan talked to him.
I hope Ryan didn't give him any information.
I convinced Ryan to tell him that he had found Johnson. I thought maybe I could stall the board meeting that way. You know what Dennis did? He went straight to Justin's office and told him all about it.
Dennis isn't even interested in the company. Why would he get himself personally involved?
I don't know.
He's just like Iris.
Rena,
Well, it's true. He changes his mind every 2 seconds.
I wonder if maybe he and Iris have some kind of deal.
I'd like to know what that one is.
Who knows? Do you know that Stryker offered Ryan a partnership in his law firm this afternoon?
Did Daddy call Ryan after the board meeting?
It's about the nicest thing that happened to Ryan.
Oh, did he accept?
Well, he told me he wants to make sure that he can clear his name first. Grant, do you think that's possible now? Oh, I'll get it. Hello?
Hi, honey.
Oh, Ryan, where are you?
Sorry I'm late.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I have some real good news.
What?
The police have Peter Parnell in custody.
How did that happen? Ryan, where are you?
Look, can you try and reach Grant for me?
Oh, Grant's right here.
Good. Can you get him on the phone?
No, I want to know what's going on.
Okay, listen, Elena Decker came to see me today. She said she could prove that Parnell murdered Alex. So she arranged a meeting with Parnell and a friend of hers to get him to admit that he really did kill Alex.
What on earth does Elena have to do with Peter Parnell?
Well, her friend's Joe Foster.
Joe Foster, he's the one who kidnapped her.
I know.
I know, but somehow or other you got a hold of her. Anyway, the police have Parnell now.
Where is Elena?
She's at Gulf Coast Hospital. That's where Joe is. Parnell shot him.
He shot him?
Yeah, I think he's still alive, and I'm not too sure.
Honey, are you all right?
I'm fine. Listen, I'm going to go to the hospital now.
Ryan, I want you to come home.
Honey, listen, I have to talk to Elena.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you, too.
Will you give Grant a message for me?
Sure. What? All right. All right, I'll tell him. I'll wait for you here. Goodbye, sweetheart. Ryan wants you to meet him at the Packard Hotel in 1 hour.
Well, what do you think?
Well, I don't know what to think.
Oh, oh. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Well, use your imagination.
Well, my imagination isn't very good at this sort of thing, but, well, I can see that it's a nice space.
Well, you have to imagine what it's going to look like when everything's moved in. I was thinking of putting a small bar right over here.
A bar? A boutique?
Oh, yes, people love that. You know, coffee, tea, cognac, that sort of thing. So, imagine a beautiful mahogany bar right there.
Okay. All right, I'm imagining a beautiful mahogany bar right here.
Okay. And there's a possibility of leasing the store next door. It's smaller, but I think we can knock this wall down because the way things are right now, I think it's a little cramped.
Well, a room always looks bigger with furniture in it.
Well, actually, there's not going to be a lot of furniture. There's just going to be like a seating area right over here and plants everywhere.
Plants. Well, plants will certainly help.
And the real estate man said that I could put a window in this wall if I wanted to. I'm very excited about the possibility.
Yes, I can see that you are. I haven't seen you this happy in a long time.
Well.
What you thinking?
Oh, just about the possibilities that the future has in store for me all of a sudden.
I hope I'm somewhere in that future.
You are.
And when Elena was kidnapped the second time, that's when Joe Foster stole the $1 million from Billy Joe Wright's apartment. When Joe Foster finally released Elena, she wouldn't talk to the police for almost 24 hours.
Why?
Oh, we don't know why, but Max was furious at her because he said that she was giving him a chance to leave the country.
Wasn't it possible he never left Houston at all?
Doesn't make much sense, does it?
Well, Joe Foster, he did work in one of Parnell's freighters.
That's how Foster knows Parnell.
The thing that I can't figure out is why Elena would ever speak to him again. I mean, that is really beyond me.
Why do you suppose Ryan wants you to meet him at the Packard Hotel?
Well, obviously he wants us to get into Parnell's suite.
What for?
Well, I figure that he must think that that's where the missing work file of Johnson's is. That's what we need to prove Ryan's innocent.
But you can't just walk in and take it.
Well, we won't do that. He's a lawyer. We'll get a search warrant.
All right, if he doesn't have one, make him leave.
We won't do anything illegal, Jim.
Okay.
Well, I will be going. Bye.
Grant, tell Ryan to get back here as soon as he can.
I rather suspect that he'll do that without my telling.
Goodbye, Grant. You're the one that looks like she needs a little rest.
What if something happens at that hotel, Rena?
It won't. Now, come on, let's go sit by the pool. Relax, both of us.
But Ryan might call.
There's a phone by the pool.
Okay. Rena, you were asking before if I thought that TJ was a very good lawyer.
That's right.
Well, what does all that mean?
I asked him to help me destroy Justin.
There's something I don't understand, Ryan.
What's that?
How did you know where Joe and I were after Pete Parnell changed the meeting place?
Well, I received a call telling me about the changes as I was getting ready to leave the office.
Who was the call from?
I'm afraid I can't tell you, but I got a very good idea.
Yeah, But nobody else knew where we were.
Somebody did. Listen, there's something I still don't understand.
What?
Why'd you set up the meeting in the first place? I mean, if you did have proof that Parnell killed my uncle, you should have gone to the police about it.
We didn't have proof. It was Joe's word against Peter Parnell. And nobody was going to believe Joe. You see, that's why we set up the whole meeting. We knew that Peter Parnell wanted the drug money that Joe had. We told him that if we returned it, maybe he would help us get out of the country.
You mean if he gets you passports?
Yeah.
But I still don't understand why Joe Foster agreed to give the money back in the first place. I mean, that's the whole reason he kidnapped you, right?
He did it because he knew it was the right thing. Ryan, Peter Parnell asked Joe to kill Alex Wheeler, and Joe refused.
And so, Parnell had to do it himself, didn't he?
Oh!
What?
Tape recorder. This was the whole reason why we set up the meeting. Joe was going to get Peter Parnell to talk about the fact that he killed Alex Wheeler. I had the tape recorder in my purse.
Did it work?
Hey, look, we're leaving Houston tonight. There's not going to be any way anyone's going to find out that you killed Alex Wheeler. We had an agreement.
Sorry, Joe, there's no way I can afford to leave you alive. You know too many things. Things you don't even know you know.
Like what?
Like Bernie.
Bernie.
Bernie was still alive that afternoon when we left the trailer, Joe. I went back, finished him off. He threatened to go to the police and blow the whole operation.
That's going to make our job a lot easier. Who's this Bernie?
He worked for Chris Shaw at the chicken coop. The police think that Joe killed him.
Mind if I take this?
No, Joe wanted you to have it.
Thanks.
Ricky.
I have an idea for you, Paige.
What?
I think you should hang a very elegant chandelier from the ceiling, right where this pole is.
Well, actually, I was thinking that maybe indirect lighting might be nice.
Right. Indirect lighting. No chandeliers. No pretty crystal chandeliers.
You are being very supportive, Elliot.
I am.
Yes.
Thank you. What about the racks?
What racks?
For the clothes, all those designer things.
Oh, I'm going to have models to show the clothes.
Show the clothes?
Mm-hmm. Sort of like a fashion show.
Well, I'm 2 for 2. I've never seen a fashion show.
Well, once I open this business, you won't have to say that again, will you? Well, I guess we've done just about all we can now. What do you think, Elliot? Really, honestly?
Well, I think the location is excellent. I mean, you're very lucky to find something in the Galleria, but as far as the space goes, you know more about that than I do.
It's a big decision.
Well, when do you have to sign the lease?
Right away if I want the place.
Well, maybe you shouldn't make up your mind tonight.
No, I have to decide soon, Elliot. You know, the places we looked at the other day are already taken.
Paige.
What?
I have another idea.
What?
You'll like this one.
What?
I think we should talk about it over dinner.
Right. I get my turn. Is, that what Dennis dropped by to ask you tonight? If you wanted to have dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell him that we were going to have dinner together?
Yes.
Was he upset?
Nope. I think he's handling all that very well now.
I must admit I was very uncomfortable with him in the office today, Elliot.
Well, there aren't many newly divorced couples who wouldn't be.
He told you that our divorce was final today.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm very sorry about the pain that I've caused Dennis. And you. But I have to go on with my life, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'd say that you were off to a pretty good start.
With your help. Now, there is a wonderful restaurant on the next level of the Galleria. I heard two ladies raving about a vanilla souffle the other day coming out of it. Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Vanilla souffle.
Oh, Dennis.
Hello, Margaret.
Haven't seen you around for a while.
Well, I was off on a little vacation.
Oh, yeah, so I hear on your mother's yacht. It must have been quite a vacation.
Yes, it was.
Or are you just visiting, or are you back for good?
Well, I thought I'd come in tomorrow and work for a few hours. That is, if they haven't cleaned out my desk yet.
Oh, no. Everything's still intact.
Good.
If you're looking for Elliot, I think he left about a half hour ago.
No, actually, I came by to see you. You used to cover the DA's office, didn't you?
Yeah, for quite a while. I used to camp out in his office for months waiting for a story to break. In fact, I think the DA is the one responsible for my promotion here at KVIK. Anything to get me off his back.
Well, actually, I'm looking for a little promotion myself.
Oh, really?
Yes. The only thing is I have to find out a little information on the district attorney's office. And I said to myself, Margaret is the person I have to see.
Well, I'm surprised, but very pleased to see you. Can I get you gentlemen a drink?
No, thank you, no.
Well, sit down, please. Yeah, I saw the 6 o'clock news, Ryan. I was very distressed about you losing your job. I thought you made a fine president of World Oil.
Well, I appreciate your concern.
Well, I always thought very highly of your uncle, and I have some very strong doubts as to your guilt about the misappropriation of the company's funds.
Is that why you called me this afternoon?
No, I went around to see if I could be of any help to you. Did your fiancée say I'd been around to the office?
That's right, she did. But I really appreciated the phone call.
Excuse me?
Your call warning me that Parnell had changed his meeting place with Joe Foster.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the only person who could have known about the meeting. So you called me because you wanted Pete Parnell caught. You see, he'd become a liability to you, and you wanted him out of the way, right?
Well, that's absurd. I didn't know about it. Parnell setting up a meeting with Joe Foster and Elena Decker?
Who said anything about Elena Decker?
It's on the 6 o'clock news.
No, it wasn't.
I'll get it.
Are you Ryan Connor? No, he's in there. Come in.
Who are these men?
Police officers.
We have a search warrant to check the premises.
For what?
Johnson's work file that Pete Parnell stole from World Oil.
In other words, you've been hiding Joe Foster in your apartment all this time? Is that right?
Not the whole time. I brought him to the hayloft first.
On our ranch?
He saved my life, Ricky. He was wounded and he had no place else to go.
Elena, the man is a wanted criminal. How could you do something like that?
He didn't kill Bertie Stokes. And Chris Shaw's death was an accident.
Yeah, that's what he told you.
It's true.
Yeah, well, he shot me too, you know. How does he explain that?
Come on, Ricky, you were chasing him. If you'd had a gun, you would have shot him too. Ricky, please don't be upset with me.
Well, I'm trying to take all this in.
I know it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Guess I shouldn't have expected you to understand.
Yeah, I understand, all right. What I understand is that this guy sold you a bill of goods and you bought it lock, stock, and barrel.
I love him, Ricky.
Yeah, that's the most incredible thing of all.
He saved my life. Doesn't that count as anything? Peter Parnell was going to shoot me, and he threw himself in front of me. If anything happens to Joe, if he dies, it's because of me, Ricky.
Elena, you can see Joe now, but only for a minute.
Exactly what kind of information do you need in the DA's office?
Well, what I want to do is put together a little mini-series on how the office operates.
You need a handle on a series like that, something to hook the audience.
Well, the district attorney's office is always in the news. I mean, they're always prosecuting mob figures or handling information for trials, that sort of thing. But the people, you see, the people really don't know how the office functions.
You're probably right.
The only problem is I don't know how the office functions myself.
You know who you should see?
Who?
Ernest J. DeLuca.
Ernest J. DeLuca. Who is Ernest J. DeLuca?
Ernie's been the janitor in the DA's building for 20 years. He knows more about what's going on in the DA's office, from emptying the trash cans, than the DA does himself.
You mean he's your source, so to speak?
He's helped me out an awful lot. He knows everything that goes on in that building. Of course, if you tell anyone you heard it from me, I'll swear you're lying. He's the person you should see.
I'm warning you, Mr. Connor. You're going to have a libel suit in your hands that you'll never be able to pay off.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Your associate, Peter Parnell, is doing a lot of talking down at the police station.
Nice try, Mr. Wheeler.
Ryan, when I left, Parnell was just beginning to explain how our friend here had sent fake telexes all over the world.
Fake telexes?
Mm-hmm. Confirming deposits that weren't made until 3 to 6 months later.
But I have no knowledge of fake telexes or of money being withheld from World Oil, and I've been doing business with that company for 5 years.
Mr. Wheeler?
Yeah. Parnell killed my uncle. Did you order him?
No, I did not, Mr. Connor. I know nothing about it.
Did you find anything? It's a missing work file. Proves Lawrence has misappropriated funds from the company.
You're under arrest, Mr. Lawrence.
That isn't my file. I had no idea it was in there. This isn't even my hotel room.
You paid for the suite. You're in possession of stolen properties. I think that about covers it. Read him his rights.
Ernie?
What's the idea of sneaking in on a guy like that? You could have given me a heart attack.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Look what you made me do. That's for my arthritis. Who are you anyway? How'd you get down here?
I signed in with the guard. Walked down the stairs.
Nobody's supposed to be down here.
Ernie, I've got to talk to you.
How'd you know my name?
Friend of yours sent me. Said you might be able to do a favor for me.
What kind of favor?
Favor that could make a lot of money for you.
What are you talking about?
Talking about $5,000? $5,000 could buy you a lot of arthritis medicine for a very long time.
And what would I have to do to get that $5,000?
You clean up on the 5th floor, don't you?
That's right.
You must know your way around the DA's office pretty well.
Maybe I do.
Well, I'd like to borrow something from that office. A film.
What kind of film?
A film that belongs to me, as a matter of fact. I'll give you $5,000 if you'll get that film for me, and I'll return it within 12 hours. But it's very important to me that I get it.
I love you, Joe. I'm gonna stick by you, I promise. Hey, but you gotta promise me something, too. You can't leave me alone, Joe. You gotta hold on. Joe, if you leave me, I'll never forgive you. I mean that.
Elena, we've got to get him into surgery now.
So Grant and I went through Johnson's work file, and all the information we need to clear my name is right there.
Oh, honey, that's wonderful.
And Parnell is going to be charged with Alex's murder.
Is he confessed?
No, but the DA can build a pretty good case. Hey, you two look a lot happier than you were the last time I saw you.
Mama's making sure that Margaret Hanson has all the necessary information for the 10 o'clock news, and she also has Jim Long reporting.
Oh, I bet Vicky's happy to hear that news.
Oh, yes, she is. But I'm so happy for you, Ryan.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ryan, what about Joe Foster and Elena? Is he alive?
Well, when I talked to Evan, he said that Joe Foster was still in surgery.
Is Elena alone over there?
No, Ricky's at the hospital with her.
I can't imagine how she got mixed up with that boy.
Well, she happens to be in love with him.
But he's killed one man and confessed to killing another. Who knows what else he's done?
I love Elena very much, but Ryan, she put your life in jeopardy by not telling you that Joe Foster was going to be there this afternoon.
But they did me a big favor by trapping Parnell.
It still doesn't excuse her actions.
Doesn't excuse what Iris did either.
Someone has to tell Iris what's happened.
Let Iris hear about it on the 10 o'clock news.
Well, I'd better go to the house and tell her.
What about Justin? Will you be able to press charges?
I doubt it.
Ryan, he framed you.
But we don't have any proof, and we won't until we find Mr. Johnson.
So Justin goes unpunished again.
No. Iris can't allow him to continue running World Oil. He'll lose that, and Ryan will be reinstated.
Rita, that means Justin will lose his power base and a lot of money. It's going to hurt him very badly.
Well, at least we're taking the first step in the right direction.
Do you think I'm crazy? Look at this.
No.
Are you sure? I mean, that's all I talked about at dinner. You must have been so bored listening to all my talk about the plan.
I am as excited about this boutique as you are.
You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm sure I can make a go of it.
Oh, you're going to do more than make a go of it. You're going to be an enormous success.
You really think so, Elliot?
Paige, you have everything one needs to succeed at this sort of thing.
All right, that's it. You just made my decision for me. I'm going to take the place. And I'm going to hire you as my publicity agent.
Well, that is the right decision. I'm taking the shop. I mean, not hiring me. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh. You know, it's amazing. 2 weeks ago, I was ready to throw in the towel, and now it's like a whole new world opening up for me.
Well, it is.
And you know what makes it even more perfect, Elliot?
What?
Is the fact that Dennis is doing so well. I've been so worried about him. I know you have been, too. It meant a lot to me to hear you say that he was handling things so well.
I know.
You know, I think his finding out about my film upset him more than he ever let us know.
Yes, I think you're right. But he seems finally to be handling all of that.
I'm glad. I'm making a new start of things. I hope Dennis can too.
I don't know. Getting that film out of the DA's office might be very dangerous.
No, there's no danger involved at all. I told you. I'll have the film back in 12 hours. And Lindsay I'm going to know it was missing.
Wouldn't I be committing a crime?
Ernie, the trial is over. I mean, it's not like you're stealing evidence. I mean, the only reason the damn file is still in the DA's office because of all the red tape involved.
No, I wouldn't even consider it if I didn't need the money, but my arthritis acts up pretty bad sometimes. Well, I'm going to have to be retiring pretty soon. $5,000 could come in mighty handy.
Then you'll do it.
I don't know.
You think about it. I'll come back first thing in the morning with $5,000. If you want it, all you have to do is hand over the film. You think about it.
The line is busy.
Whose line is busy?
Justin Marshall's.
Well, if I were Justin Marshall, and I thought you were trying to reach me, I guess I'd take the phone off the hook.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what he's done.
Of course, it could be somebody's trying to get a hold of the feed store, or somebody's talking to the vet.
Oh, Vivian!
Well, I was raised on a farm.
Let me have that paper.
You don't want to see this, Mrs. Wheeler. It's just going to upset you more. I told you.
The editor of this paper and Vicki Bellman are good friends. She probably arranged for this article.
A couple of weeks ago, you arranged to have an article written saying Ryan Connor was guilty of stealing money from the company.
I didn't arrange it. I merely had a talk with the business and finance editor.
I just can't understand how Justin Marshall could tell you that Ryan Connor was guilty when he wasn't.
That's something I intend to find out.
You did real well, Stephen.
You mean it?
Yeah, sure.
But those one with small fences I was jumping.
Well, the way you handled Draper, that was real talent.
You promise you won't tell anyone you teach me how to ride till I'm real good?
I promise. There you go.
How long do you think it'll be till I'm real good?
Oh, a couple of months. Just remember, the more confidence you have in what you're doing, it's going to be better off for you. Just keep contact on the horse's mouth through the reins, guide him toward the fence, squeeze him a little, release, and the rest is up to the horse.
I got it.
Will you do a favor for me?
Sure.
If this phone call is for me, will you tell them you don't know where I am, and I'm going to disappear, so you'll be telling the truth.
Hello?
May I speak to Justin Marshall?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know where he is.
I've called his office, and he's not there. He must be at the ranch.
May I take a message, ma'am?
Yes. This is Iris Wheeler. Tell Justin I want to see him, and I'll give him 2 hours to get here, no more.
That was Iris Wheeler. I think you're in for a lot of trouble.
Sure is nice to read some good news for a change, isn't it?
Sure is.
Wonder what Mr. Johnson reads the paper if he could come back to Houston and tell Iris that Justin framed you.
Well, Iris knows that Parnell killed Alex, that he misappropriated the company funds, and that's going to make me happy for quite a while. Let's stay in bed all day, okay?
Spent half the day in here already.
Well, what's the point of getting dressed, huh?
Well, the point is that we have to go to the ranch and talk to Kate about our wedding.
Oh, come on. Let's just stay here for a while until Justin leaves, and then we'll go out there, all right?
I'm surprised that Iris or Dennis hasn't called to apologize to you.
Well, Iris will wait a while and then change her mind. Dennis, I just don't think he cares.
Why on earth that Dennis would support Iris instead of you?
I don't know. Obviously, he worked out some kind of deal with her.
Well, whatever it was, I hope it was worth it.
That's Dennis's problem now.
Paige, It's good to hear your voice so early in the morning.
I knew you'd be hard at work.
Yeah, but I'm always happy to take a break and talk to you.
Well, I won't talk long. I was wondering if you could spare about 5 minutes for me if I drop by a little later.
Oh, of course I can.
Good, because I've got a surprise for you.
Ernie?
What's this?
A gift.
Me?
Little something for your arthritis. Now, I hope you have something for me in return. Because I'm very anxious to get that film.
About Mr. Wheeler being murdered. It must be good to know that Mr. Parnell has been caught.
Yes, it is.
It just gives me the willies thinking about that man roaming the streets just as free as a bird after what he did. I was so nervous I couldn't even sleep yesterday thinking about that man, Mr. Parnell, being right here in this house.
Well, there's no need to be nervous now, Vivi. He's in jail.
It says that he was involved in an international drug ring and that's why he was absconding with funds from the company.
Vivian, I know the story.
Yes, ma'am. Did you call Mrs. Decker yet?
Earlier. She refused to speak to me.
Well, you can't blame her for that. Well, what I mean is that she was pretty upset the last couple of times she is here. Can I have the sports section?
Well, the phone never stopped ringing.
I have to answer it.
Well, of course you do. Just say I'm not at home.
Well, you don't even know who's calling.
I don't want to talk to anyone.
Wheeler residence. No, she's not home right now. May I take a message? All right. Bye-bye.
Who was it?
Jimbo Daniels.
He's on the board of directors. He probably wants to reinstate Ryan as president of the company.
Do you want his number?
No. He voted with Ryan at the meeting. I don't want to talk to him.
Well, at least he was right about Mr. Connor. Do you want me to put his name here on this list with everybody else's calls?
It doesn't matter. I can't return any of those calls until I talk to Justin.
Well, I don't think I'm in any trouble, Steve.
She sure sounded mad to me.
Well, don't worry. She won't stay upset long.
What's going on?
This business?
Hey, how was your ride?
Terrific.
Great.
Good.
What?
Can we
You bet. It's going on for buddy.
Okay.
Steve, why aren't you in school?
Teacher's meeting.
Well, lucky you. What were you two whispering about?
Oh, I'm teaching him to jump. But it's a surprise for Grandma, so don't let on that I told you, okay?
Oh, Justin, that's nice. Now, who's not going to be upset for very long?
Iris called. She's on the warpath.
What did she say?
I didn't talk to her. Stephen took the message.
What are you going to do?
Well, I know eventually I will have to talk to her. She demanded that I get over at her place within 2 hours.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, now, listen, there is no reason to be upset. It's all right.
Justin, how can you say that there's no reason? I mean, everything you've planned has fallen apart.
It hasn't fallen apart, honey. As a matter of fact, it's worked out just the way I wanted it. Ryan's out of the company, I'm the president, and we're living here at the ranch.
There's still the problem of Mr. Johnson.
Well, as long as Johnson's not around to tell anybody that I leaned on him a little bit, nobody can prove that I framed Ryan. If indeed that's what they think I did.
Everybody knows how you were out to get him.
But so did Iris. Why is she upset about that?
Justin, suppose she decides to reinstate Ryan.
She won't.
Well, I think that all this radio and television coverage has really made her feel like a fool.
She'll get over that.
I'm not so sure.
Oh, you just let me take care of Iris.
I'll go out there with you.
Why don't you get back to the office, take care of things there. I'll talk to you later.
Justin, what am I supposed to tell people that call?
Why don't you tell them how happy I am that my faith in Ryan Connor was justified. And that if he's willing to work with me, that I'll certainly open up discussions about his returning to the company in any capacity he chooses. That was my statement to the media. Sounds good, don't you think?
It's perfect. But what if he decides to go around town and tell everybody that you framed him?
Number one, he won't. He's not that kind of a person. Number two, he doesn't have any proof.
Mr. Johnson has proof.
Yeah, if he shows up. But I'm going to have good old Bubba Wadsworth make sure he stays down in Mexico.
Think Iris will keep Justin on as president of the company?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Ryan, you should be president of World Oil.
Well, I don't want the job. I don't want to have anything to do with Iris Wheeler. Come on. You know, I only stayed with the presidency just so I could try and clear my name.
Well, I know, but before all this trouble started, didn't you enjoy it there?
No, I never really felt that satisfied since Alex died.
Think you can reconcile with Iris?
I don't want to reconcile with Iris. Anyway, I'm just looking forward to having a partnership in Stryker's law firm. Hey, would you mind being married to a lawyer instead of president of an oil company? Something I want to ask you. After we're married, will you give me my pajamas back?
I'm not making any promise.
You know what? We haven't decided where we're going to have our honeymoon.
Well, let's go to Acapulco. We can stay at Stryker and Vicky's house.
Oh, we can go there anytime.
Well, we can go anywhere anytime.
I know, but don't you want to stay in a hotel?
No, I don't want a lot of people around. I want to be able to not have to get dressed if I don't feel like it.
Okay, you win. I'll call Vicky this morning.
Well, I already talked to Vicky.
You did?
It's all set.
You're amazing. Did you tell her how long we're going to be down there?
I said about 2 or 3 weeks.
What about 5 or 6 weeks?
What about Steve?
Well, you can come down there on the plane, stay part of the time with us.
Honey, he's in school.
Well, he can get out for a week, can he? He's a good student. I don't think the school would mind.
I don't think he'd mind. I don't think he'd want to miss basketball practice, but we can ask him. If we ever get out of bed.
That's right. We were going to get dressed and get out of bed, weren't we?
Well, we were.
I didn't get the film.
Have you forgotten about the $5,000?
What good is $5,000 if I'm in jail?
Look, Ernie, I told you, I'll have the film back in 12 hours. They'll never even know it was gone. Now, right now, it's sitting in the district attorney's office. They've probably forgotten it's there.
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Why? All you have to do is go through your normal routine in the office like you're cleaning.
I just want to forget the whole thing. I want to forget that I talked to you. I want to forget I even seen you. I suggest you do the same thing.
Oh, come on, Ernie.
Look, I got work to do. So I'm going to say goodbye. For good.
Well, Ernie, looks like I just saved myself $5,000. You can keep the wine.
Do you have to go to work?
Yeah. But I promise I'll be back in time to go riding with you before the sun goes down. Okay? Stevie, why don't you go take a look at those new plans for the living room? If there's anything you don't like, you just tell me.
Okay.
Okay?
There doesn't seem to be much point in your changing anything if you're not going to live here.
Who says I'm not going to live here, Grandma?
Yeah, why stay? Can't drill for oil. You probably won't be president of the company much longer.
What makes you think that?
Word is that your days with World Oil are numbered.
I was just made president of the company. I plan to be around for a long time, Grandma.
Well, that was before Ryan Connor cleared himself of all those trumped-up charges you made against him.
I did not frame Ryan, Grandma, and that's past history anyway.
Not to me, Justin. And not to a lot of other people.
I don't feel guilty, Grandma.
I can see that. Only a man with a conscience would.
And another thing. I plan to raise my kids here. You better get used to that. That's the way things are going to be.
The newspapers don't seem to share your confidence, Justin.
Oh, well, you can't believe everything you read, Grandma.
They say there's some question about whether you'll continue as president, now that Ryan Connor's been cleared.
The newspapers are wrong. Iris still controls the company, and she has the utmost confidence in me.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Nope, not at all. I was just about to take off for lunch. Hope you'll join me.
I will not only join you, but I would like to take you to lunch, a sort of a celebration.
Oh, well. Is this part of the surprise you called about earlier?
Yes, it is. Shall we go?
Well, wait a minute. Aren't you going to tell me what the surprise is?
Well, I really wanted to wait and tell you over lunch, but... Elliot, I signed the lease today. The shop's mine.
Oh, Paige, that's wonderful.
I am so excited.
Well, you should be.
I feel like a little kid on Christmas morning. I have so many ideas, so many practical ideas to make it work. Last night, all I could think about was how long it would take for me to get my initial investment back.
It's good to see you like this. Such a positive attitude.
I feel like a whole new world is opening up for me, Elliot. Nothing can stop me now.
How are you feeling, Dennis?
Feeling fine.
Well, I didn't get a chance to talk to you the last time you were here. How was the yacht? Was it fun?
It was very relaxing.
Well, you look a lot better now than you did the last time you were here. You looked awful.
Well, thank you.
No, well, what I mean by that is that you looked very tired and depressed.
Well, I was tired and depressed.
Your mother's very tired and depressed.
Oh, yeah? What's she upset about this time?
You didn't read the morning's paper?
No, actually, I've been busy the last couple of days.
Look at this. World Oil is all topsy-turvy these days.
Vivian, what are you whispering about?
Morning.
I was just filling Dennis in on everything that's been happening.
Weren't you going to have the gardener protect the roses for winter?
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye, Dennis.
Well, I suppose you have seen the paper this morning.
Well, as a matter of fact, I really haven't yet, no.
What? You don't know?
No what?
We were tricked by Justin. Ryan Connor was innocent after all.
Was he?
You don't care?
Should I?
Oh, well, considering the fact that you hold 1/3 of the shares in World Oil, yes, I should think you would care a great deal.
Right now, I've got a lot more important things on my mind, like how the plans for my party are going.
Oh, you don't even have the film. What good is a party going to do? Without that film, there's nothing you could do to
I will have
Paige.
this film tonight.
Your father and Justin rode in all the horse shows during high school. They won their share of blue ribbons.
Didn't they enter any shows after high school?
Well, no, your father went on to Texas A&M. Justin got interested in cars instead of horses. Oh, good morning, you two.
Morning.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I feel phony.
Well, why aren't you in school?
Don't you remember teachers' meeting?
I forgot. Is that Justin's car in the driveway?
Yes, he's getting ready to go back into town.
He's going in to see Miss Wheeler.
How do you know that?
He told me.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
I saw a news report. You chased a murderer all through the zoo and caught him.
Well, something like that.
You know he shot that Joe Foster guy. Did he shoot at you?
No. I'm sure glad he didn't.
Were you in any danger?
No, I wasn't in any danger at all.
You know, Ryan and I have decided to go to Acapulco for our honeymoon.
For how long?
2 weeks, maybe 3. We thought maybe you'd like to come down and visit us for a while.
Mom, I have basketball.
Well, I know.
Listen, if I miss one game, they'll chuck me off the first team.
Okay, I understand. Did you get started packing your things?
No, not yet.
Well, don't wait too long, because...
I know, Mom, and anyway, I have to go see if Buddy's home.
Okay. he doesn't want to leave the ranch.
I think when the time comes, he'll be all right.
I hope so.
I've been thinking about Elena. How is she, Ryan?
Well, I saw her at the hospital last night.
You know, I just don't understand how she got mixed up with that criminal. And to have hidden him, too, away from the New York and Houston police.
Well, she told me that she loved him very much, and, well, that he's not a bad person.
Oh, Ryan, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well, what's going to happen to her? Will she be arrested?
She concealed and she aided an offender. Now, that makes her an accessory after the fact, and that's a punishable offense.
Well, will she go to prison?
I don't know. She could possibly make a deal with the DA, turn state's evidence.
What about Joe Foster?
He's in critical condition in the intensive care unit at Gulf Coast. If he lives, well, he's going to go to prison for sure.
What are you thinking about, Jenny?
How much time has Steve been spending with Justin?
Well, the two of them go riding every morning together. And when Justin's here, he seems to make an effort to talk to Steve and to help him. Steve brings out the very best in Justin.
I wonder whether we should pack Steve's things and bring him over to the Bellmans. Rena can take care of him while we're on our honeymoon.
I think that's a terrible idea. As much as I disapprove of Justin, he does love that boy. I don't think there's anything for you to worry about.
With Justin, there's always something to worry about.
Yeah, Jim, go ahead and screen the segment on the med fly. It's set for the 5 o'clock news. If you have any problems, let me know. Now, where are you taking me?
I'm sorry, what?
What's so interesting in the paper?
Oh, just this article about Peter. I suppose you've already heard about it.
Yeah, the police think he was the head of a major drug operation. Sounds as if he'll be in jail a long time. Sorry.
Why should you be sorry?
Well, I know that you and Peter were close at one time.
No, that was a long time ago, Elliot. Long before I knew what Peter was even about. After reading this, I'm not even sure I ever really knew him. I'll never forgive him for involving Dennis and bringing Jack Brent to the Top of the World Club, though, to embarrass me in front of you.
Well, I guess he didn't expect you to tell me the truth about Jack Brent. It took a lot of courage, Paige.
You're a very understanding man, Elliot. It's very easy to tell you the truth. Somehow with Dennis, I just could never do that. I do hope what you said last night was true. Dennis is better now.
Oh, yeah, Dennis is fine. He looked happier than he's looked for months.
I'm glad. I do want him to be happy.
And I think the vacation he took did him a world of good.
Is he still seeing the psychiatrist that you recommend?
Yes, he's even talking about coming back to work at KVIK tomorrow. So you see, I think it's time you stop worrying about Dennis and start thinking about yourself.
Well, if we are going to get you back for an editing session, we better go.
How can you get the film tonight? Isn't it still being held by the district attorney?
Don't you worry about it.
Now, if you are thinking of doing something illegal to
Look,
get
whatever I do, I won't let it get traced back to you. And that includes showing the film at the party. And when it's all over, I'll take full credit.
Actually, I think there are other ways to get back at Paige. Better ways.
You're not going to back out now.
Dennis, the whole idea of this party is wrong. Think of the scandal it will cause.
That is exactly what I'm thinking about.
I mean for you and our whole family as well as for Paige.
I don't think anyone will blame us for Paige's indiscretions.
What they will blame us for is exposing them in such a public manner. One has to be more discreet. Now, what if I were to go to Paige again and talk to her?
Talking with Paige. And I don't want you talking with Paige either.
I can't go through with it, Dennis.
You have no choice.
I do have a choice.
We had a deal. I am going to show that film, and you are going to arrange for that little party.
No, I'm not.
You are not going to let me down this time.
Dennis.
Now, darling, tell him I'll get back to him tomorrow. Now, the projects will go ahead as planned. All right. Listen, did you make a doctor's appointment yet? I know you're feeling fine, but you're going to have a baby. You have to take special care of yourself, sweetheart. All right, all right. I'll talk to you at the office when I get back from my meeting with Iris. Fine, bye.
Hello there, Justin.
Well, look who's here. Real live hero. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot for your help.
I just spoke to Ashley. Some of the board members have been calling. They want you reinstated.
Oh, do they?
Yes, I just think they're caught up in all the excitement. I can't imagine that they're really serious about this.
Suppose they are.
Well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. As a matter of fact, I'm having a meeting with Iris. I'll discuss it with her.
You knew all along about Parnell's misappropriation of the funds now, didn't you?
No. I had no idea. I also had no idea that Alex had been murdered.
But you sure supported Iris's belief that Alex was murdered and that I killed him, right?
That was for Iris's benefit, right?
For your own gain.
Well, everything has turned out for the best. You're cleared. I mean, what's the big deal?
Well, the big deal, Justin, is that you framed me. And you almost destroyed my career. I'm not going to forget about that. And I'm not going to give up until I can prove it.
Well, there's no way you can prove it, so don't waste your time and energy.
But Johnson now, he can prove it, can't he?
No. Maybe Parnell did away with Johnson.
What do you mean, did away with him?
Well, if Parnell killed Alex because he knew too much, then maybe he killed Johnson, too.
You didn't kill him, did you, Justin?
Are you going to be working for Stryker Bellman now?
I haven't decided yet. Who are you planning to work for?
I've just been promoted, if you recall.
The security of your position seems to be in jeopardy right now.
I don't think so. Have you talked to Iris lately?
No, I haven't.
I'll give her your best. Have a nice day, Ryan.
Mr. Wheeler, do you think that real estate development would be a good investment for me to put my money in?
How much money are you talking about, Vivian?
About $110. That man said that I would get about $1,000 back on my investment.
Have you known this man long, Vivian?
No, not really. I met him when we were standing in line at the checkout counter at the supermarket. Because there was this lady in front of us who had a lot of groceries, so we just started talking. He seemed like a really nice man.
I'm sure he is. Vivian, why don't you just write down the man's name and his telephone number, and I'll call him and talk to him.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler.
You're welcome. Where's Mrs. Wheeler?
Oh, she stormed upstairs just as soon as Dennis left.
What did Dennis say to her?
I don't know. Mrs. Wheeler sent me on an errand just as soon as they started talking.
John Doe. Thank you.
Would you like something to eat, or do you have an appointment to go to downtown?
No. As a matter of fact, I'm having a luncheon. Iris. I'd like to talk with you, Iris.
I don't feel like talking now.
You can't avoid me forever, you know.
Why don't you do something about lunch?
What would you like to eat?
Nothing. I'm not hungry.
Then there's nothing to do. I'll find something.
I understand that you've been very busy avoiding telephone calls this morning.
I have nothing to say to the media or to the board members.
I should rather think that you've got a lot to say to Ryan. You called him?
No,
You owe him an apology, Iris.
I most certainly do not.
You accused him of embezzling funds from the company and from murdering Alex.
Alex was indeed murdered.
Yes, he was, but not by Ryan, and he did not embezzle funds from the company.
He prevented the investigation.
Iris, eventually you're going to have to admit that you're wrong.
You want me to make a key from this?
Can you?
It's not the usual way it's done.
I was told you were the best locksmith around. That you can make a key from anything.
Who told you that?
I work at KVIK. One of my friends, another reporter, said you do this kind of work.
Your friend was wrong.
Would $100 make the difference?
How many copies?
One. I'll wait.
I'm so confused. I don't know what to think. Everything happens at once. Ryan, Justin, Ashley, Rena, Dennis. I don't know how to deal with any of them. If Alex were alive.
Iris, why don't you let me help? It's not too late.
I'm sorry. I'll be all right.
No, you won't. Not until you deal with Ryan. I know what you're doing, you know. You're reliving Alex's death. I did that myself last night. Iris, Alex's murderer will be brought to justice. He will pay for his crime.
Yes.
And Ryan?
Justin tricked me. He told me Ryan was guilty of misusing company funds.
Now, just a minute, Iris. You did not need Justin to convince you that Ryan killed Alex. I'm sorry. It wasn't only Justin. You were prepared to believe everything you could about Ryan. Justin just happened along and told you exactly what you wanted to hear. He simply intensified your feelings of dislike and distrust for Ryan. He didn't create it. You did all by yourself.
How do you apologize for trying to destroy a man?
You begin by saying, I'm sorry.
Mom, I have to go over to Buddy's.
No, this won't take long.
Mom says you want to speak to me.
That's right. I have a favor to ask.
What is it?
Well, you see, Rena is going to be your mother's matron of honor. And that's because they're very special friends.
And Max was going to be your best man, because you two are special friends.
That's right. Well, I was wondering if you could stand in for Max.
Do you mean be your best man?
Absolutely. Sure mean a lot to me if you could.
Sure, I'll do it.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
Oh, Mom, that means I'll have to wear my suit, doesn't it?
For an hour or two, maybe.
Hey, one more thing now. We're going to have a huge tent. It's going to be out by the pond, and I was wondering if you might supervise it for us, you know?
When are you going to put it up?
Well, the morning of the wedding.
Sure, I'll supervise.
Hey, thanks again, cowboy.
Mom, Uncle Justin told me that he can't come to the wedding.
He did?
Yeah, he says he has to go to Fort Worth on business. But I told him I'd save him and Ashley a piece of cake.
It's okay.
Oh, Mom, can I go tell Buddy that I'm going to be Ryan's best man?
Sure, honey, go ahead.
See you later.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
I'm going off to Buddy's.
Well, not until you pick up that mess in the den.
Grandma, that's my science project.
Well, you get that out of the middle of the floor.
All right.
Do you think we should be honest with Steve about Justin?
Well, I think he knows already that you and Ryan and Justin don't get along. I don't think he needs to know more than that. You know, Justin's been very careful not to say anything against Ryan, as far as I know. And I think the reason that Justin didn't object to your wedding being out here was because of Steve. I wouldn't start anything if I were you.
Maybe you're right.
I asked Steve to be my best man.
Grant was going to be his best man, but Grant had to go to Boston for a bank meeting, so he won't be here.
Yeah, we want Steve to participate as much as possible so he doesn't feel left out.
Oh, I think that's a good idea. I'll find something for him to do, too.
Where's Lillian?
She's looking for jobs. She had 2 or 3 interviews today.
Ryan, there's a phone call for you. It's Mrs. Wheeler.
Please tell her I don't want to see her.
Ryan.
I don't want to talk to her.
I'll take care of it.
Mom?
Oh, honey.
Where have you been?
Down the creek with Buddy.
Oh, your mother was looking for you.
What you want?
Well, she wanted to kiss you goodbye. She had to go back into town.
Oh.
I understand you're going to be best man for Ryan at the wedding.
Yep.
That's a very special favor that he asked you to do. I thought you'd be happy.
I was.
I understand. It's Max, isn't it? You know, these are the times when we miss him most. When we have something important to celebrate, like your mother's wedding, or birthday, or a holiday. That's when we wish he was here to be happy with us. But Max's spirit will always be with us, honey. Now, if you can remember that, you won't be sad.
I know. Is Uncle Justin back yet?
No.
He promised he'd go riding with me this afternoon.
Well, he had to go into town. I think he had some business.
He's never broken a promise to me before.
If he can get here, he will, honey.
Hello, Iris.
You certainly took your time getting here.
I was busy tending to company matters.
You made a fool of me, Justin.
Pardon?
You told me Ryan was guilty of misusing company funds. I received the support of the board members because I trusted you.
I was sure that Ryan was guilty. I had the statement from Mr. Johnson.
Yes, well, about that statement. You see, Ryan and Grant found Mr. Johnson's work file in Peter Parnell's hotel room. And that file proves that Johnson knew Parnell was the one who was misappropriating company funds. Now, why didn't he tell you about Parnell?
I don't know. I just know that Johnson believed that Ryan was covering for Parnell, maybe on the take from him.
Where is this Mr. Johnson?
I don't know. I just know that someone scared him half to death. He disappeared.
Terrified of you?
No. Parnell, no doubt. If Parnell killed Alex, then it's logical to assume that he killed Johnson, too.
I trusted you, and you used me.
I was just trying to help you.
For your own gain. Rena was absolutely correct about you.
I can understand how upset you are about this, Iris.
Can you?
Believe me, I'm as concerned about this as you are.
Do you know that every newspaper and television station in this state has reported that Ryan was voted out of office because of allegations which could not be proved? Allegations which turned out to be false!
I'm sure that the company can weather this one small storm.
In the 25 years my husband ran that company, there was never a hint of scandal.
All companies experience this from time to time, Iris. It's not unusual when you consider the vast amounts of money at stake. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Regain the public's confidence in the company.
Don't bother. You're fired.
feel very guilty about pulling you out of the office all afternoon,
Well,
sir.
if it had been a problem, I would have told you. But when I checked in, Jim said everything was under control.
What, I suppose this means you're going to have to work until, what, 10 o'clock?
Midnight.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it was worth it. I had a wonderful time, Paige.
I can't imagine anyone having a wonderful time being dragged through all of the furniture stores in Houston.
Actually, the talk we had with your interior decorator was very interesting. I couldn't believe what he said about having the shop ready for an opening, and what's so soon.
I know. Actually, I have to admit that was my idea. When I first went to him, he didn't think it could be done, but I talked him into it. Of course, it's going to cost me, but it's well worth it. Well, I really better go. You're not going to get anywhere.
Wait. Before you go, there's something I want to give you. I've been wanting to give it to you all afternoon, but it just never was the right time.
What?
For luck.
I better go.
I said it was for luck, but actually I don't think you need it. You're off to a fine start.
I hope so.
I know so. You're going to be an enormous success now, Paige. And nothing is going to stop you.
Marshall? Vivian, I called earlier.
Hello,
darling.
You're upset with me?
I don't understand you. The whole time that I had reservations about Ryan Connor's guilt, you kept pushing me to support Justin, to believe that what he was doing was right. And now, when he needs your support more than ever, you turn on him. You fire him. How can you do that? What kind of person are you, Mrs. Wheeler?
Hi, honey.
How are you?
How was your trip?
I don't know. I didn't pay any attention, so worried about Rena.
I'm glad to have you home, but what about the Delgado leases in Venezuela?
Don't worry about that. I stalled him. Where's Rena?
Still asleep.
I was so sure she'd forgotten this revenge business against Justin, especially now that Ryan's cleared his name.
I know, I thought so too. Until she asked TJ to help her destroy Justin.
You talked to her about that?
I tried, but she won't discuss it with me. Maybe she'll talk to you about it.
Daddy, you're home early. Oh.
How you doing, honey?
Fine. Did Mama tell you about Ryan?
Yes, she did.
Sweetheart, Iris has called again. I wish you'd return her calls.
I don't ever want to speak to her again.
Hello, Mr. Carrington.
Well, you're out about there early this morning, huh?
Oh, I have 1,000 things to do today.
And I'm first on the list. I'm flattered.
Wrong. Second. Interior decorator was first.
I'm
Actually,
hurt.
That's why I'm here. I was wondering if you could help me decide between these two fabrics for the wall. What do you think?
You're really throwing yourself into this boutique, aren't you? I think it's wonderful.
Oh, you don't know, Elliot. I haven't been this happy in months.
Hey, what can I do for you, Dennis? Frankie, you need to do me a favor. What's that? I'd like a couple of copies of this film made, and these photos. It's a rush.
Did Justin send you to talk to me?
I'm capable of doing anything on my own.
Well, of course.
It's all right, Bella. I understand how you feel.
I don't think you do.
You think I've deserted you, don't you?
You've deserted Justin.
I made a business decision. Justin was elected president because Ryan was accused of misappropriating company funds. Ryan has proved his innocence.
But you never thought Ryan was a good president.
Perhaps not, but the board members want him reinstated.
Are you going to reinstate him?
I don't know. But I cannot allow Justin to remain as president under the present circumstances. It's a bad image for the company.
So now that you have no further use for Justin, you can just toss him aside.
He can still run the production division.
Why didn't you tell him that yesterday?
Because he stormed out of here before I had a chance to discuss it. Darling, I'm sorry you've been hurt by this. It hasn't been pleasant for any of us.
He was only trying to help you. He only told you what you wanted to hear.
I know that. Does he know you're here?
No. And he'd have a fit if he found out, too. He likes to fight his own battles.
Well, there's nothing wrong with fighting for the man you love.
You taught me.
So I did.
Maybe it is my fault that Justin's in this mess. I started it all when I told him about Mr. Johnson and that missing file.
Does Justin blame you?
Rena, if I was called to apologize, I think at least you ought to talk to her.
Why? Because it's the gracious thing to do.
She sure as hell wasn't very gracious when she was trying to get Ryan out of the company.
Honey, please don't swear.
You can't possibly approve of her behavior. Mama, you know what she did to Ryan.
I'm not saying I approve of it.
Sure sounds like that to me.
Now, if Iris is willing to admit that she was wrong and she wants to apologize to you, I think you owe her the courtesy of at least hearing her out.
Your mother tells me you had a conversation with TJ yesterday morning.
TJ had no business telling Mama about that. And, Daddy, if he goes around repeating all of his private conversations, you won't have any clients left.
Now, he was concerned about you, and he thought I should know about it.
Well, I think it was unethical, wasn't it, Daddy?
He probably doesn't think of you as a client there, so therefore the information is not privileged.
It certainly was. And the sooner he gets back to Casablanca, the better off we'll all be.
Rena, I need TJ here in Houston. At least until I finish this business in Venezuela.
Well, send TJ to Venezuela. Maybe you can find something for him to do in the jungle. Mama, he is going to ruin Daddy's practice in a week giving out confidential information.
Now, he's not going to do that, so will you please calm down?
Rena, I don't want to talk about TJ. I want to talk about you in this revenge business.
There's nothing to talk about, Daddy. I did get upset yesterday, and I did get a little carried away. But now that I know that Justin is fired, I feel a lot better.
Are you sure?
Yes. Will you stop worrying?
Okay.
I think I better get to the station.
Oh, Mama, don't forget, Ginny and Ryan want to talk about their wedding plans.
No, I won't forget.
Where is Ginny?
She's having breakfast with Ryan. Stryker, I want you to take a nap. All right? Goodbye, sweetheart.
Thanks for covering, Virginia.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, honey. See you later.
Daddy?
Uh-huh.
What do you think is going to happen at World Oil?
I don't know. Iris probably asked Ryan to come back.
Never do that.
Yeah, we'll just have to get a new president.
What about Justin? Do you think Iris will keep him on in the production division?
I don't know. Will that bother you?
You're the general counsel. If Justin stays on, you could get rid of him, couldn't you?
I thought you said you were finished with this revenge business.
All I said, Daddy, what I was feeling a whole lot better now that Justin was fired.
I see, and all that was for the benefit of your mother, I gather.
Daddy, don't you believe that Justin is responsible for Max's death?
Indirectly?
And doesn't it bother you that Justin is getting away with it?
Yes, it does bother me.
Then you've got to help me, Daddy. This is the time that I need you.
I'll tell you what I'll do. You talk to Iris. I will find a way to deal with Justin.
Well, what do you think, huh?
Well, I'm afraid I can't choose. I like both fabrics.
Both?
Mm-hmm.
You like both fabrics? Okay. Well, I guess I really don't have to decide until tomorrow. Anyway, I'll go see what Nita thinks.
Nita?
Oh, Billy Joe Wright's wife. Actually, former wife. They were divorced about a week ago.
And you've asked her to help you with the boutique.
Mm-hmm. I'm going over to the restaurant to talk to her about it right now.
Yeah.
Heaven knows I need all the help I can get.
You're really planning to open in 3 weeks?
Elliot. Interior decorator says that there's an unbelievable amount of work to be done.
Well, in that case, I mustn't keep you any longer.
Well, you have been a great help, Mr. Carrington.
With much more help like mine, you'll never get the place open.
No. You have been a psychological help. That's just as important.
Well, I'll bear that in mind. You call me if you need any more psychological help.
Okay. I will.
You go to work.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. Go to work.
Frankie, I'd like 2 video cassettes of this film made as soon as possible.
Shouldn't be a problem having for you an hour or so. Just for the 5 o'clock news or something?
No, it's personal. If it's all the same to you, I'd just assume you didn't mention this to anyone.
What is it, classified information?
Close. The pornographic films.
Go on. Porno films, eh?
Yeah, well, one of the guys down in sports is getting married. We thought we'd throw him a little surprise party.
Oh, stag party.
Yeah.
All right. Don't worry, I won't breathe a word.
I'd like copies of these stills made as well.
Yeah, sure. Porno films. What do you know?
Elliot, are you busy?
No, just going over some news updates.
Oh, I saw the new update format yesterday, and I think it's going to work very well.
Glad to approve. Please sit down.
Elliot, I just received a telephone call, and I think I should share it with you.
Oh, about what?
You've been awarded the National News Directors Award for Broadcast Journalism.
Well, for what?
For the series you did on international terrorism when you first came to work here at KPIK. You must be very pleased.
Well, I'm more surprised than anything.
They should be calling within the next hour or so to give you the official notification. You know, I said this when you first started here, and I want to take the opportunity to tell you again. You're a very important member of this staff, and I am very proud to have you with us.
Well, thank you, Vicki. I'm pleased to be here. Oh.
And speaking of somebody I'm very glad to have back, Dennis, Meredith tells me you've started back to work again.
Well, I figured it wouldn't hurt to put in a couple of hours today.
I was just telling your father he's been awarded the National News Directors Award for Broadcast Journalism.
That's great.
Thank you.
And I know you're going to do the same kind of work for us one of these days.
Where's Rena?
She's gone down the street to talk to Iris.
I was under the impression she never wanted to see Iris again.
I know, but I made a deal with her. I told her she'd talk to Iris, I'd deal with Justin. I know you don't approve.
No, I don't. I think the sooner she forgets about Justin, the better off for everybody, especially for Rena.
Victoria and I have been trying to convince her that ever since Max died. Doesn't do any good. She wouldn't listen.
So you decided to join her?
I can't ignore her feelings, TJ. She's in pain. She wants Justin punished.
She wants him wiped out, Stryker.
I'm not going to go that far.
She won't be satisfied unless you do.
I don't know if I can do anything. Depends on whether he stays on or World Oil.
I think you're crazy.
That's because you don't have a family of your own, TJ. When you get married, you know what Rena's happiness means to me.
Her happiness means a lot to her mother, too. But I doubt that she'd approve of your helping Rena like this.
TJ, I'll concentrate on Victoria. You concentrate on finding a legal way to get Justin.
Ashley, does Justin blame you?
Maybe. I don't know.
Have you asked him? What did he say?
Mrs. Ashley, leave me alone. That's all he said to me since yesterday afternoon.
I'm sorry he's taking his disappointment out on you.
He's not disappointed, Mrs. Wheeler. He's devastated.
Well, give him time. He'll get over it.
Maybe. Maybe when he finds out he still has a job.
It's a miracle he hasn't been arrested. Ryan was so angry.
Justin didn't do anything illegal. Justin honestly thought that Ryan was covering up for that Parnell man.
Grant believes that Justin framed Ryan deliberately.
Yeah. What do you believe? Do you believe that Justin framed Ryan?
I sincerely hope not.
I'm going.
Hello, Rena.
I knew it was a mistake coming here.
It's all right, I'm leaving.
I hear Justin has been fired. Well, easy come, easy go.
I don't know what to say to you. You warned me, and I wouldn't listen. I said if I were wrong about Ryan, I would apologize. But you said it would be too late. Is it too late?
So, have you signed the lease on the store?
Yep. Signed it yesterday.
Oh.
Nita has told me all about the boutique you're planning to open, Mrs. Carrington. It sounds so exciting. Well, it will be as soon as all the work's done, but right now I'm a little more scared than I am excited, I think.
Well, when are you planning on opening?
Well, I'm shooting for 3 weeks from yesterday.
3 weeks?
That's right. That's why I need you as soon as possible, Nita. Have you talked to Maggie yet?
Oh, yeah, there's no problem. Maggie's as excited about it as I am.
Well, then you want to do it, right?
Oh, sure I do. There's just this one problem.
What? What problem?
Billy Joe Jr.
Oh, that's not a problem, Nita. You'll be in the office every day. All you do is bring him with you, okay?
When she can have him. Maggie and I have prior claim. Maggie said she'll sit for Billy Joe Jr. anytime I need her.
Great. Then it's settled, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, when should I start working?
Well, as a matter of fact, right now, I can't decide on these 2 swatches for the wall.
Is it all right if I look too?
Oh, sure, of course. Now, you have to imagine these fabrics on the wall, all right? Now, this is going to be on the east and the west wall. There's a lot of light coming in from here, and lots of plants. So think about it very light and airy.
Hey, Lou. Where does this order go?
Well, I don't know. Frankie was working on it. Film transfer to cassettes?
Yeah.
Carrington. Must be for Elliot.
I'm going that way. I'll take it to him.
Yeah, okay. Jenny!
There.
Ryan.
I didn't know that you'd be
Hi,
back for
Striker.
a couple of days. Wonderful to see you.
Did you finish up your business in Caracas?
Just about. How was breakfast?
Breakfast?
Yeah, Vicky told me you were having breakfast together.
Oh, yeah, it was nice. Hi, TJ.
Hi, Jenny. Ryan.
Are we interrupting anything?
No, not at all. We just finished up.
I understand we're going to talk about the wedding plans tonight.
That's right. Are you going to stick around for a little while, or do you have to go back to Venezuela?
I wouldn't miss your wedding for anything.
Hey.
Well, in that case, Ryan and I have a little problem we'd like to talk to you about. My father has to go to a conference in Geneva, so he won't be able to attend the wedding. So, we were wondering, would you give me away, Striker?
I'd be honored, Jenny.
Thanks.
We'd sure like you to be there, TJ.
I'd be delighted.
Listen, Stryker, we have another favor to ask of you. Grant had to be up in Boston for his board meeting, so I asked Steve if he'd like to be my best man. Only thing is, he's too young to sign the papers.
I'll be happy to sign the papers.
Okay.
Great.
Well, we've got that all set now. Where is my maid of honor? Is she around?
She's gone down the street to talk to Iris.
Maybe you can get Ryan to talk to Iris, too.
You, haven't talked to her yet?
No, I have nothing to say to Iris.
But she's got a lot to say to you.
Well, I just don't want to hear what she has to say.
Well, Ryan, you certainly have a right to be angry, but it might be better just to let her apologize and then forget about it.
Ryan, maybe you should talk to her.
I'll tell you who I would like to talk to, and that's Dennis. I just can't understand that sudden turnaround of his.
No, I can't either.
Well, maybe Rena can find something out from Iris.
I swore I'd never speak to you again.
I can't blame you. I did a terrible thing. I'm absolutely mortified by my behavior.
Why? Because you were publicly embarrassed?
No. Because I allowed my anger to poison my mind against an innocent man. A man I almost destroyed in the process. And I lost a friendship which has always meant a great deal to me. I was so consumed with anger at Alex's death that I couldn't offer you any comfort when Max died. I'm truly sorry for that, Rena.
Iris.
You tried to help your friend Ryan, and you tried to help me, and I turned you away. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I must ask for it. Your friendship is very important to me.
And what about your friendship to Justin?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you did frame Ryan.
He did, Iris.
Unfortunately, I was so determined to find fault with Ryan that I would have believed Justin no matter what he said. It's all my fault.
Not entirely. Ashley was singing the praises of Justin.
Poor Ashley.
Poor Ashley.
She's caught in the middle. She loves Justin. She wants him to be happy, to succeed.
I'm sure she does.
She always had serious reservations about Ryan's guilt. She was very much opposed to his being ousted as president.
I'm sorry, Iris. I find that very difficult to believe.
It's true.
She ended up supporting Justin, though, didn't she?
Like I said, she loves him.
If she can't help him now, Justin will dump her, you know.
No. He believes she's going to have his child.
Isn't she?
She's trying, but... Rena, do you think Ryan can recover from this?
Yes, I think so. In time.
I've lost Alex and Ryan and now you. Oh, Rena, what have I done?
Nita!
What?
Do you know you're putting ketchup in the mustard jar?
Oh! I don't know where my head is today.
I know exactly where it is.
Oh, my feet haven't touched the ground since Mrs. Carrington left.
Oh, you're going to have a lot of fun working at that boutique.
Oh, and it couldn't have come at a better time. I feel like I've been given this whole new lease on life.
What made Mrs. Carrington decide on hiring you?
Well, actually, it was Billy Joe's idea. At least that's what Mrs. Carrington said.
Well, whoever thought of it, it's a good idea. Hi, Angela. Nita. Where's Aunt Maggie?
She's upstairs with the baby. Did you just come from the hospital?
Yes. How's Joe Foster doing? Well, the doctors say he's going to be all right. They've got the infection under control.
Infection?
From the bullet. He's lucky it didn't do more damage. You hate me, don't you, Nina?
No, I don't hate you.
I really wish you knew, Joe. I wish that you would just...
Look, Elena, I really would rather not discuss this, if you don't mind.
He didn't mean to hurt you, Nina.
Elena, whether he meant to or not, he almost made me lose my baby.
He let me call an ambulance.
That's because you made him.
But he didn't have to. He knew it meant that the police...
Elena, look, I know you love Joe Foster, and that's going to influence everything you say. But Joe Foster is no good, Elena. And no matter what you say, you're not going to change that.
Thought you might like a little progress report.
What kind of progress report?
I have the film and copies of the publicity stills. And I'm having copies made.
How did you get the film?
That's not important right now. What's important is that I have it.
Dennis, if someone in the DA's office found out that you had taken that film...
Don't worry about it. I'll have the film back by tonight. No one will even know it was gone.
Well, I'm glad you came by. I was just going to call you.
You're planning to tell me about the preparations for the party, right?
I've made no preparations.
It's a bit late, isn't it?
There's not going to be any party, Dennis.
No. No, you're wrong about that.
I won't. I won't do it. I won't be part of this disgusting scheme of yours to get back at Paige.
But you didn't think it was disgusting when you agreed to it.
I thought it was revolting. But I needed your vote at the board meeting.
And I gave you my vote.
I know, but...
And now I need your help. The help you promised to give me.
What you're doing is sick, Dennis.
Is it? Is it any sicker than what Paige did when she made that pornographic film in the first place?
What Paige did is not your concern now. Your divorce is final. You have to forget her.
I can't. I can't forget someone I love.
Dennis, what has come over you?
I can't let her destroy my father the way she destroyed me.
Elliot will see through Paige sooner or later.
No. I can't wait for that to happen.
All you're doing by carrying on this campaign is proving how much you still care for the woman.
Right. No, don't you see? She's got to be destroyed.
But, baby, you're the one who's being destroyed. Don't you see that?
No. You're going to back out on our deal, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Well, then you leave me no choice but to tell everything I know.
What are you talking about?
If you think Houston society will be shocked at Paige's porno movie, well, how do you think they're going to feel? How do you think they're going to feel when they find out how far you were willing to go to get Ryan out of the company?
Oh, well, it is just your word against mine. I'll deny everything.
No, I don't think so. I'm just glad we put everything in writing.
You wouldn't do that.
Not as long as you cooperate. As long as you agree to have that party, no one need ever know. No one need ever know you were involved.
Dennis.
I suggest you do it right away. It may be difficult to invite the illustrious people of Houston at such short notice. And I want everyone who's anyone to be at the top of the World Club when I show that film.
Mr. Carrington?
Joel, what can I do for you?
The film lab asked me to drop this by your office.
What is it?
Film transferred from videotape and some Photos reproduced.
I didn't know of any film transferred to videotape.
It says Carrington.
Well, must be for Dennis. People keep forgetting there's more than one Carrington working here.
Shall I take it back, or?
No, he'll probably be by later on. I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It seems I'm spending my entire day asking for people's forgiveness.
That's not very pleasant now, is it?
No, nor easy.
Tell me something, Iris. Why do you dislike me so much?
I suppose it has a lot to do with jealousy. I wasn't really aware of it until now. But I believe I resented the trust and affection that Alex had for you.
He was my uncle.
I know. But I loved him so deeply and lived without him for so long that I wanted him all to myself. I thought you made demands on Alex's time for your own selfish reasons, your ambition at World Oil.
And that's ridiculous.
It seems so now, doesn't it?
Well, at least you're honest about it.
A little late. All of the board members have called and asked that you be reinstated as president of the company.
How do you feel about that?
I would be deeply grateful if you would take the job.
You must know it's impossible.
Alex spent 25 years building that company.
I'm aware of that, Iris. That's the reason I agreed to help him in the first place. But I don't want to run the company now. I want to practice law.
Ryan, your family.
Grant's family, too. Let him run World Oil for a while.
You can't forgive me, can you?
No. Maybe in time, but not now.
I guess Billy Joe feels the same way about Joe.
I don't know how Billy Joe feels.
Yeah, well, I know he blames Joe for all the trouble that you and he have been having.
I'm sure he's not happy about you and Joe, but like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen Billy Joe since the divorce.
Divorce?
Billy Joe and I got a divorce.
Nita, I knew you were talking about it. I had no idea you went through with it.
We went to court last week.
It's official?
Well, not for 60 days. But for all practical purposes, it might as well be.
I feel terrible.
Why should you feel terrible?
Well, I know Billy Joe must think that because of Joe, you asked for this divorce.
Look, Elena, the trouble that Billy Joe and I have been having, it's our business. Billy Joe is the one that hid the money in the apartment. Drug money. He knew 2 men had been killed because of it.
I know, but...
No, Billy Joe takes full responsibility for what happened. He can't pass that responsibility off on you or Joe Foster or anybody else.
I've got to go talk to Billy Joe.
Elena, I think that now probably is not a good time to talk to him.
I can't believe I didn't know it. I was so wrapped up in my own troubles that I didn't even think to ask him how things were going with you. You think he's at the coop?
I don't know, Elena.
Would you tell Maggie? I'll see you later.
All right.
Where's Elena?
She went to talk to Billy Joe.
She must be very mixed up right now.
Oh, I don't understand that girl. I just don't understand her at all.
She's in love with Joe Foster.
I know, and that's the part I don't understand the most.
You know, sometimes I think this whole world would be a whole lot better off if there was no such thing as love.
Dad? Oh, how about a coffee break?
There you are.
What's up?
The film department left something here for you.
Oh, what's that?
Film you were having transferred to video cassette?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What is it?
Well, actually, if you want to know, it's a documentary. I thought maybe I could win an award of my own.
A documentary?
Just following in my father's footsteps.
Oh, what's it about?
Actually, I'd rather not discuss it now because I'm not quite finished with it. But I would like you to see it sooner or later.
Well, I'd love to. Anytime.
And Peter Parnell was arraigned today on charges of first-degree murder and a 9-count indictment, fraud and embezzlement.
That should keep him in prison for a while.
Jim Lawrence is also, he was handed down a 5-count indictment, so he's going to be away for quite a while, too.
What about Joe Foster?
He's not going to be arraigned till he's out of the hospital. We're going around the court that they're going to throw the book at him.
Oh, Ginny, before I forget, Daddy was asking Mama where you were this morning, and she covered for you. She said that you were having breakfast with Ryan.
So that's what he was talking about.
Why don't you tell him the truth?
Daddy's a little old-fashioned. I think he would have been upset if he knew that you and Ginny had spent the night together.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. I'm very serious, so you two be careful.
Hello, Jenny.
Hi, Vicky.
Hello, Ryan. Hi.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, sweetheart. Did you talk to Iris?
Yes, I did.
So did Ryan.
How'd you do?
Well, I was very polite and civil.
She offer you a job back at World Oil?
Mm-hmm. But I refused it. You see, I want to accept your offer.
You sure that's what you want?
I'm sure.
How do you feel about that, Jenny?
I'm all for it.
Great. We'll work out the details in the morning.
Well, now that that's all settled, come on, we have some wedding plans to discuss.
I just came from Maggie's. Nita told me about the divorce. I didn't know.
You got a lot of nerve showing up like this.
Billy Joe, I know you hold Joe responsible for Nita asking for that divorce.
Look, Elena, I'm going to give you just 5 seconds to turn around and walk out that door.
No, Billy Joe. I want to talk to you. I want to make you understand.
I'm not kidding, Elena.
You're wrong about Joe.
Oh, yeah? Am I wrong about the fact that because of him, man, you canceled out on me time and time again, huh? Now, you can say I'm wrong all you want to, darling, but that's not going to change a thing, because I know I'm right.
All right, you have every right to be upset, Billy Joe. But Joe isn't the person you think he is.
Look, Elena, I just don't want to talk about this. Now, I mean it. Now, if you just turn around and leave right now, I'll just try and forget you even showed up here. But if you keep on talking like this, so help me, I'm going to say something I don't want to say.
But I am the one you should be upset with. It's me that canceled out. Joe had nothing to do with it.
Don't you worry, Elena. I'm plenty angry at you, too. What'd you come here for?
Because I knew you were upset.
I was upset. But I was getting over it. I was doing a good job until you showed up.
You want to just forget about me then?
Yeah, I really would.
And we'll need a crew to cover the governor's arrival tomorrow. Right.
Mr. Carrington.
Yeah. Can I talk to you about it later? Okay. Now, Frankie, what can I do for you?
Joel brought a couple of canisters of film that was transferred to video up to your office here today by mistake.
Right. They were for Dennis.
Did he get them?
I gave them to him about a half an hour ago. Why?
I just want to make sure he got them, that's all.
Well, he did.
Thanks.
Strange day.
No one ever need know who's going.
Oh, I feel like I've been up for 4 days straight.
Oh, I feel the same way. I'm worn out.
You know, I wish Ryan would stay at World Oil.
Why?
So he could fire Justin.
Iris already fired Justin as president. He's on a downhill run, don't you think?
I hope so, Ginny.
You didn't tell me about your talk with Iris.
She admitted that she was wrong.
That was big of her.
It was very difficult for her. I really believe that she felt badly about all the problems that she's caused Ryan. I actually felt myself feeling sorry for her. I did.
Well, I don't think she deserves it. But if it made you feel better, then I'm glad you did it.
I made a deal with Daddy. I had to go through with it.
What kind of deal?
I agreed that I would talk to Iris, and he agreed that he would even the score for me with Justin.
Rena!
Honey, I would have talked to her anyway. It would have made for a good incentive.
Why don't you just forget about Justin?
I can't, Ginny. I found a way to hurt Justin.
Oh.
Iris slipped today. She told me something that I'm sure I'm not supposed to know anything about. Ashley isn't pregnant. She only told Justin that so he would marry her.
Are you sure that you didn't misunderstand her?
I'm positive. I think Justin might find that news very interesting.
You're not going to tell Justin?
You bet I am.
Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning, Mama. Where's Daddy?
Oh, he left hours ago. He had to be in court early this morning.
He's not going to miss Ginny and Ryan's wedding this afternoon.
Oh, no, he'll be there.
Oh.
Did you need your father for something?
I need his car.
What's wrong with yours?
Oh, I couldn't get mine started. I called Mr. White. He said he was going to drop it off at the shop today.
If you drive me to the station, you can have my car.
Okay.
Did you see Ginny before she left for the ranch?
Yes, she woke me up. She's a nervous wreck.
She's waited a long time for this day.
Yes, she has.
Why don't you tell Beth to fix you some breakfast, and then we'll be on our way.
I don't want any breakfast. Are you going out to the ranch with Daddy?
Yes, around 2. Are you driving out this morning?
I've got a couple of things I got to do first.
What?
I'm going to the World Oil building. I have a little surprise for Justin. Hey, you. Get up. It's time to get up. You've got to get dressed.
Why? I don't have any place to go.
Well, you've still got a job running the production division at World Oil.
But for how long?
Well, as long as you want to, I guess.
Not if Ryan Connor's president of the company.
Now, I've told you, Ryan Connor is not coming back. And later on...
I'll be made president? Not a chance, Ashley. Iris doesn't trust me, and she told me that.
She said a lot of things that she didn't mean, sweetheart. You just give her a little time to get over her embarrassment. She was mortified when she found out she was wrong about Ryan, and she just wanted to blame someone, so she chose you. You can't keep being depressed, Justin. You act like it's the end of the world.
It is.
No, it's not. You still have me.
And a baby on the way.
Mm-hmm. Now, here, you drink this coffee before it gets cold. It'll help wake you up.
Oh, did you make an appointment with the doctor today?
No, I feel fine. I'll make an appointment when I need to.
You're a little nervous about going in the first time by yourself, aren't you?
No.
Listen, I have a friend in OBGYN at Gulf Coast. I'll give her a call, make an appointment, and go in with you.
So, Paige, how's everything going? Did you make a final decision on the fabric for the walls?
Need to help me. I think that we're going to go with the blue silk. Of course, it depends a great deal on the other furnishings.
You still have other things to decide about.
Yes, that's one of the reasons I called, Elliot.
More swatches?
You guessed it. Could you meet me for lunch at the Galleria today? I'll bring the swatches along with me to the restaurant.
I'm not sure if I can get away, Paige. We have a congressman coming by about an interview we're doing with him, and I have to make myself available to him.
Well, then would you mind terribly if I stop by the station?
Well, sure, if you really think I can be of help to you.
I have to decide on the wood paneling for one of the rear showrooms, and I'm just at a loss, Elliot. Of course, if you're too busy.
No. I'd love to see you, you know that.
Great. Nita's on her way over. We're going to take some measurements, but then I'll be right over.
I'll be here.
Okay. See you later.
I had copies of Paige's film made on videotape. I have the publicity stills with me. If you'd like to take a look, that is.
I most certainly would not. I find this whole thing indescribably repulsive.
Well, actually, you don't have to worry about my being found out. The originals are back in the DA's office. Safe and sound.
Dennis, you certainly will be found out. If you go through with this insane idea of showing the videotape at some party I'm supposed to give, don't you think people will wonder where you got a copy of that film?
I'll take care of that when the time comes.
The more I think about this plan of yours, the more I think it is absolutely impossible.
Actually, as far as you're concerned, it should all be very simple. All you have to do is make sure that all of your important friends are there. I'll take care of the rest.
How do you think you're going to get Elliot and Paige to attend?
If Dad will be there, Paige won't be a problem.
Well, Elliot and I are not on the best of terms at the moment. You might have a hard time getting him to come to any party I'm giving.
I have a way around that.
What are you up to? Why are you going to see Justin? It's nothing, Mama. I just have a little news for him that I think you'll find very interesting.
What news?
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me?
No.
Rena, I wish you would leave Justin alone.
Leave Justin alone. After all the things he's done to me.
He hasn't bothered you for weeks now, so please don't start anything with him.
Oh, I'm not going to start anything. I'm going to finish something.
Honey, you're asking for trouble.
I don't think so. I can handle Justin.
Rena, I don't understand you. Ginny and Ryan are finally getting married. This should be a happy day for all of us. Why don't you go out to the ranch and help Ginny? Concentrate on the wedding.
Max can't be at the wedding today because Justin killed him. He was going to be Ryan's best man.
I know, sweetheart.
Then how can you expect me to ignore that?
Seeking revenge against Justin is not going to bring Max back.
I know that better than anyone.
It's not going to give you any real satisfaction either.
I think it will.
All right. What kind of satisfaction did Iris get?
Iris was wrong about Ryan. I'm right about Justin, and you know that as well as I do.
But you can't spend all your time trying to punish him.
If I don't, who will?
Justin will get what he deserves eventually.
I doubt that, Mama. It hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it ever will.
He's no longer president of World Oil. He can't drill for oil out on the ranch. Isn't that enough to satisfy you?
I'm going to do everything I can to stop Justin. And I finally found the first tool in achieving that. I intend to use it. I'll meet you in the car. I already have a doctor, Justin.
Who?
Becky's uncle.
Sweetheart, Becky's uncle has a general practice.
Oh, well, I know that, but he's really very good.
I'm sure he is, but I want you to go to a specialist.
I'll think about it.
I'll tell you what, I'll introduce you to Anne. If you don't like her, we'll look for somebody else. But you're going to like her. She's a fantastic lady. She was a friend of my dad's. And she is chief of OBGYN at Gulf Coast.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Get out of bed.
Oh, no. I don't want to get out of bed right now.
You don't?
Hmm.
All right.
Oh. I'm sorry I treated you so badly.
Sweetheart, I know how scared and upset you've been.
I shouldn't have shut you out like that. I don't know why I did it. I'm sorry.
Everything is going to be all right now.
I didn't even thank you for talking to Iris yesterday, did I?
No, you sure didn't.
I want to thank you for trying to help as much as you did. I know what you think about Iris, so it couldn't have been easy for you.
You know, when I think about it, I can't even believe that I had the nerve to do it. I mean, to jump on Iris Wheeler like that. My Aunt Hildy finds out, she will kill me.
Well, since Iris didn't kill you, she must have thought you were right.
Well, I did think she was wrong to turn on you. But I don't think I'm going to try that again anytime soon.
You don't think that ruined your friendship with Iris, do you?
No, I don't think so. But she sure doesn't like for someone to tell her she's wrong.
Ashley?
Yeah.
Thank you for standing by me.
You're welcome. What are you giggling about?
Oh, I'm just thinking, what a terrific mother you'll make.
Perhaps you haven't heard. Dad's being given an award for his documentary on international terrorism.
Well, what does that have to do with the party you want me to give?
I think it would be the perfect occasion for it.
You mean I should give the party in his honor?
That'll get him out for it. And I'm sure he'll want to bring Paige along.
Well, darling, it might be the perfect occasion for someone else, but not for me. I mean, the way things stand between Elliot and me, he'd be very suspicious.
That's exactly why I'm planning to talk to Vicky. Today.
Vicky Bellman.
Right. I'll tell her that you found out about the award and that you'd like to do something to honor Dad, but that you weren't sure how he'd take to it.
And what would that accomplish?
Well, I'll tell her you're planning a surprise party. And ask her to bring Dad to dinner at the Top of the World Club the same evening.
I don't think Vicky will buy that one for a minute.
Oh, I think she will.
Well, what do you think she'll do when she finds out how she's been used?
That's not anything you'll have to worry about.
I certainly will have to worry about it.
She won't even know you're involved. As far as she's concerned, you were showing Dad's documentary. You had no idea that anyone would switch for Paige's porno film.
Dennis, I cannot believe this is you talking, my own son.
Really?
You've become so devious.
That's good. That's good coming from you. Well, what about it?
Look, darling, I need a little more time to...
No, there is no more time.
But now, it wouldn't hurt to wait another week or two.
No. Every day that goes by, Paige digs her claws a little deeper into Dad.
I'm not nearly as worried about him as I am about you and what this is doing to you.
Oh, all of this is making me feel much better.
Darling, have you seen that psychiatrist
I don't need
again?
to see a psychiatrist. Once Paige gets what's coming to her, once that happens, I'll feel fine.
Would you like some more coffee, Mrs. Wheeler?
No, I wouldn't, thank you.
Dennis was here to talk to you about the party, wasn't he?
Did you tell him you weren't going to throw it?
I tried, but I wasn't successful.
Why not?
Because he has me over a barrel, Vivian. That's why.
What kind of barrel?
Just a barrel.
Mrs. Wheeler, you know you can't throw that party.
I may have no choice.
From everything that you've told me, this party sounds like a terrible idea, no matter what you think of Paige Carrington.
I have mixed feelings about that. But you're right. It's not something I'm exactly jumping for joy about.
You know, you never did tell me exactly how Dennis plans on embarrassing Paige at this party you're supposed to throw.
I know I didn't. The important thing isn't how he's going to embarrass her, but the fact that it's going to be just as embarrassing to me and the entire family, and that includes you, Vivian.
Me? That is terrible. Just what do you plan to do?
I don't know yet. You know, maybe if I could get a little privacy around this place, I could think.
Can't you stall Dennis off a little?
I tried that, and it didn't work.
Don't you have any ideas?
It appears that the only thing I can do is agree to go ahead with the party and hope at the last minute I find some way out.
TJ, is that the briefcase that Stryker and I gave you for your graduation from college?
Yep.
Well, you certainly need a new one.
I don't want a new one. That briefcase has been to law school with me. It's been all over the world with me. I love that briefcase.
It's disgraceful.
Vicky, do you want to talk about this Simpson guy in legal, or do you want to talk about my briefcase?
All right, what about Simpson?
He's irresponsible, Vicky. He's been working on a project for Stryker for the past 2 months. I went down there this morning to check on it. I thought that I might be able to finish it up.
Did you?
No way. This guy hasn't done 4 hours work on it. He's got a million excuses, but the simple fact is he's lazy and he doesn't care.
Oh, thank you, TJ. I'll take care of that.
Stryker told me that Ryan accepted his offer of a partnership.
Yes. And how do you feel about that?
I think it's terrific.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why?
You've been with Stryker for quite a while.
When I started to work for him, we made an agreement that I would be offered a full partnership whenever I decided to come back to Houston and settle down.
At the rate you're going, that's never going to happen.
Well, maybe not. But then again, on the other hand, I just might surprise you.
I doubt it.
Look, Stryker said he might not be back by 2:30. So if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to pick you up and escort you to the wedding.
Okay, that's fine, TJ. Thanks.
Is Rena already out at the ranch with Jenny?
No, she's not.
What's wrong?
She announced this morning that she was going to see Justin.
What for?
To cause trouble. I had tried to talk her out of going, but...
I thought that she had calmed down a little since she found out that Ryan had cleared his name.
Well, you see, TJ, Max was going to be Ryan's best man, and they spent a great deal of time with Ryan and Ginny. So she's feeling Max's loss more acutely now.
I understand. I'm going out to the World Oil office now. I'll see what I can do about it.
Okay. Thanks.
Vicky, I'd like to talk to you for a minute. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were busy.
It's okay. I was just on my way out.
Oh, you two know each other. Dennis Carrington, TJ Canfield?
All right. Yeah, we met at the board meeting.
Vicky, I'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, TJ.
Vicky, I'd like to talk to you about a party for my father.
Party?
Yeah. Well, he won that award, for his documentary. And I thought it might be a nice idea if we honored his achievement.
Oh, hello, Ashley. I was looking for Justin. Is he around?
I'm sorry, he's down the hall in a meeting right now.
Oh, well, I guess
guess I'll just have to sit down and wait.
Is there anything that I can help you with? What did you need to see him about?
Well, I want to congratulate him, of course.
What for?
For still having a job, Ashley. And to thank him for being so gracious in allowing Ginny and Ryan to be married at the ranch.
I don't know what kind of trouble you're about to cause, Rena, but Justin's had enough of that already.
Justin can never have enough trouble as far as I'm concerned, honey.
If you will excuse me.
You know, if Iris wasn't so fond of you, Justin would be out on his ear now. Does he realize that?
Justin was only trying to present evidence to the board that someone was misappropriating funds at World Oil. Rena, he was only thinking of the company.
Oh, honey, save your pretty little speeches for Iris, because I'm not interested. I happen to know that Justin tried to frame Ryan, and one of these days he's going to prove it.
I've got work to do.
How long are you going to continue working now that you're pregnant?
As long as I can.
That surprises me. I thought Justin wanted a baby so much that he would have had a fit if you continued working.
He's being very modern about it.
He also can be very old-fashioned about being tricked into what he doesn't want to do, like getting married. I'm sorry, honey. I think the honeymoon is over.
No, I think we should hold off on that story until we see how it develops. Well, the city council hasn't even taken a vote yet. That's right. Might be a lot of commotion for nothing. Mm-hmm. Good. I'll talk to you about it later. Okay. Well, I was looking for you earlier, Dennis.
I got up late.
Well, I suppose that's allowed until you get back into the swing of things after your vacation.
Was it something important you wanted to talk to me about?
No, I just wondered how everything went yesterday.
When?
Yeah, your first day back at work.
Oh, fine. It's good to be back.
Yeah, good. Made me feel wonderful to hear you talking about putting together a documentary of your own.
Well, you don't mind me following in my father's footsteps, do you?
Mind. I couldn't be more pleased. I think you'll make a first-rate newsman one of these days. Excuse me. Yes?
Elliot, it's Vicky.
Vicky, how are you?
Oh, fine, thanks. Listen, I know this is rather short notice, but I was wondering if you were free for dinner tomorrow night.
Well, actually, I had other plans. Is it something important?
Well, yes, it is, in a way. I'd like to take you out to dinner to celebrate the award your documentary is receiving. Do your plans include someone you can bring along?
I told Paige Carrington I'd have dinner with her.
Well, that's fine. In that case, why don't you both be my guests?
This really isn't necessary, Vicky.
Elliot, it's just one more way to show you how proud we are to have you here at KVIK.
Well, in that case, I can hardly refuse, can I?
Good. I'll let you know the time and place later. And, I'll call Paige and invite her.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That was Vicky.
So I gathered.
She wants Paige and me to be her guests for dinner tomorrow night in honor of the award my documentary is receiving.
Well, I think that's great.
Well, I think everyone's making a lot of fuss over nothing.
No, you're just being modest. You're very special, Dad. To all of us.
Now, you're going to have to use your imagination, Nita, really, because the place will look completely different when it's finished.
Well, there's an awful lot of work to be done.
Yeah, I know.
Do you really think you're going to have this place ready in 3 weeks?
It's going to have to be. I've already ordered the invitations.
Invitations?
Yeah, to the opening. I've decided to make it a gala event, which means that anyone who's anyone in Houston is going to have to be here.
Oh, that's not going to be an easy job.
No, it isn't. But I have an idea.
Oh, what's your idea?
Well, I thought of tying in the opening with the charitable organization, you know?
A charitable organization?
Uh-huh.
I don't see how that's going to get people to come here.
Well, most of the charities are headed by wealthy Houston socialites, and that way we would be doing something for the charity as well as ensuring that the socialites will attend the opening.
Oh, that is a wonderful idea.
But the success of the idea depends a great deal on the publicity, I'm afraid.
Oh, now don't tell me you're going to handle the publicity, too.
Oh, no. I've already hired a public relation firm to take care of that. Get the word out to the newspapers, the fashion industry. Mostly leaking a little news item about the fashion designers that I'm going to carry here.
You mean designers are going to come here to the show?
Yeah, I'm going to do my best. But that's where I'm going to need your help, Nita.
Oh, anything you want me to do?
Well, there are a lot of letters and a lot of phone calls to make. And, well, we've really got our work cut out for us.
Oh, gosh, this is all so exciting to me.
Yeah, I think it's exciting, too. Now, I don't know what kind of trouble you're trying to cause, Rena.
Justin and I are dear old friends, Ashley. You know that. That's why he showed me so much concern when Max was killed. He came and he sent me flowers. He came to the house to comfort me. I just want to return the favor.
I can imagine.
And because he's such a good friend, I think he has a right to know that he's not going to be a daddy anytime soon.
I'm going to have Justin's child right on schedule.
Is that right?
Well, first babies are generally late, of course, but...
Not 2 or 3 months late, honey.
Rena, I was very sorry when I found out you weren't going to have Max's child. I know that you wanted that baby more than anything in the world, and I wanted it for you. But why do you persist in trying to ruin my happiness with Justin and his happiness with our baby?
There's no baby, Ashley. At least not according to Iris. Justin wanted 3 things. Control of the ranch, which he stole from Kate. The presidency of World Oil, for which he killed my husband and framed Ryan. And an heir and a son, which you told him you were carrying. Well, he doesn't have the mineral rights. He's been fired from World Oil, and as it turns out, you lied about being pregnant. I think Justin Marshall's happy days are finally over.
Did you say you were going to lease the shop next door?
Oh, yes. It's a much smaller shop. I'll take you over there later.
Oh, I don't understand. What are you going to do with it?
Oh, well, I'm going to knock down the wall, probably right about here, Nita, so that we have more room.
That sounds great.
Now, let me show you what I'm going to do over here. I'm going to install a very elegant little bar right about here.
What is it going to serve?
Oh, coffee, cognac, that sort of thing.
Oh, I've read about those bars in magazines.
Yeah. Yes, every very elegant little boutique has these days. Now, what else did I want to tell you? Oh, yes, the seating area for the shows is going to be right here.
When the models come out.
Right.
How about where the models are going to be dressing?
Oh, I think that's going to be where the smaller shop is. That way I won't have to knock down the whole wall. I'll just put a door right in the middle.
Well, it sounds like you've figured everything out for yourself.
Well, not quite. There are a few points that I have to go over with the contractor, but there are a lot of things that can go wrong between now and the opening.
Hello, Rena.
Oh, hi. TJ, what's phrasing?
It's hydraulic fracturing. It's a process used to unclog drilling mud and natural debris from the cracks and layers of rock. Why?
I was just reading something here, and I was wondering what it was all about.
Rena, what are you doing here?
Waiting for Justin.
What for?
None of your business.
Rena, why don't you just come on down to your daddy's office with me, and I'll make you a nice cup of coffee.
I don't want any coffee. It's frightening expensive.
Yes, it is.
What are you doing?
You shouldn't be here.
TJ, why don't you just leave me alone?
Because you're headed for trouble, and I don't want to see that happen.
So, how did you find out I was here?
Vicky told me.
I can't seem to do a thing without my mother reporting to you.
I was at the station on some legal business, and she just happened to mention it.
I'll just bet she did.
Rena, your mother loves you, and she's very concerned about
And
you.
I love her, but she's not going to tell me how to run my life.
She's not doing that.
The hell she isn't.
She only wants you to be happy.
I am happy.
Rena, I'm just trying to help you.
When I want your help, I'll give you a buzz. Okay?
Where's Mrs. Wheeler? Out by the pool, I think.
Ashley? I was just going out in the sun. You want to come with me, darling?
Don't say darling to me.
Ashley, what on earth is the matter with you? Vivian, that will be all. Now, what is this all about?
I really cared about you. And I trusted you because I thought that you cared about me.
Of course I care about you. Come, sit down.
I don't want to sit down. I want some answers.
Ashley, please, calm
You
down.
betrayed me. And to Rena Decker, of all people. How could you do that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You told her I wasn't pregnant.
No, darling, I did no such thing. Oh, Ashley. Oh, it was not intentional.
Well, it had the same effect.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so
You're sorry? You're the one that told Justin I was pregnant in the first place. It wasn't my idea. You talked me into it. Now, what am I supposed to do?
You're going to calm down, and then we're going to sit down together and figure out a solution.
There's nothing to figure out. I mean, either I'm pregnant or I'm not.
Does Justin know about this?
Not yet. But your good friend, Rena Decker, sitting over at his office waiting on him right now. And do you know what Justin's going to do when he finds out? He'll divorce me. And it's all your fault.
Ashley! Ashley, don't go like this. No, Ashley! Well, what do you think?
Well, I think you were right. I think you have your work cut out for you.
Well, if you want to back out, I'll certainly understand.
No, Mrs. Carrington, I think it's challenging. I mean, I can't wait to start working. You just tell me when you want me to start.
Tomorrow. Is that all right?
Tomorrow will be fine.
Great. Good. I've gotten a lot of promises from people about having things done on time, and I'm sure we both realize how much those are worth.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, do I. You mean you have to keep after them, the decorators and the contractors and everybody
We
like
are
that?
going to be on the telephone every day.
I understand. What time do you want me to be here tomorrow?
Well, the workmen are going to be here, so I think the best thing for you to do is come to my hotel room. Say about 9 o'clock? Is that all right?
Sure. I have to ask you a question.
What?
Would it be all right, Mrs. Carrington, if I brought Billy Joe Jr. to the hotel with me?
Okay. But only if you promise to start calling me Paige instead of Mrs. Carrington. All right?
Okay, Paige.
All right, I think we should go and look at the other shop now.
Okay.
I'll get my purse.
All right. Oh, hey, what's this?
What's what?
Oh, an envelope. Somebody must have slipped it under the door.
Oh, let's see. Strange, nothing on it. Probably from the real estate man.
Oh, my God.
You're having a terrible day.
I can't seem to do anything right anymore. First Dennis and this party business, which I couldn't get out of. And now poor Ashley. The last thing I wanted to do was hurt that girl. Did you hurt her?
I'm afraid so. It wasn't intentional.
Mrs. Decker forgave him. Maybe Mrs. Marshall will, too.
Oh, I don't think so. I've ruined the child's life. The same way I've ruined Dennis's life and Ryan's.
Mrs. Wheeler, Dennis and Mr. Connor seem perfectly fine to me.
Well, Ashley isn't perfectly fine.
She certainly has a loud voice when she's mad. I could hear her all the way back in the kitchen. Well, I was really surprised that she was shouting at you. She's usually so shy.
She has every reason to be angry with me. Her Aunt Hildy is one of my best friends, you know. She'll probably never speak to me again either. I hope Rena is satisfied.
Comfy?
Yes, thank you. This project isn't worth anything.
Well, since you're such an expert on the oil business, I'll take your advice and turn it down.
Oh, that's good, because I've got some more advice for you, Justin.
I'll bet.
Start making a lot of money for this company soon, because you might find yourself without a job.
I'm aware of that. I'm surprised it matters to you.
Well, I've always known that the best remedy for disappointment is keeping yourself busy, throwing yourself into your work, and if you don't have
Rena,
anything-
what do I have to be disappointed about?
Ashley's not pregnant. I'm sorry, Justin, but your new bride tricked you into marrying her. She knew how important children were to you, so she just told you that she was pregnant.
She is carrying my child.
No, she's not.
Rena, you just can't come in
Did
here
you
and
go to
talk-
the doctors with her? Did you see any of the tests that had been done? Or did you believe what you wanted to believe without checking?
How do you know so much about this?
Iris told me.
Iris.
Yes, and knowing Iris, she probably maneuvered the whole thing. How does it feel to be used, Justin? Not a very pleasant feeling, is it?
Get out of here, Rena.
I told you I was going to find a way to hurt you. But it looks like your wife and your friends are going to save me the trouble.
Do you hear what I said?
You know what I would do if I were you? I would sell your shares of the ranch back to Kate. I would resign from World Oil, divorce Ashley, and then move to South America. Your dream of a new Texan dynasty is finally over. Why stay around where you're not wanted? Well, the little mother.
Hi, Mom. Talked to Vicky, and everything is looking just fine.
What does that mean?
She thinks the idea of giving Dad a surprise party is a great idea.
Well, what if Elliot doesn't accept her dinner invitation for that evening?
He already has. For himself as well as for Paige. So you see, it's, all set.
Well, when he finds out I'm involved, he may change his mind.
By that time, the party will be in full swing. There won't be a thing he can do about it. Oh, there is something else I did forget to tell you.
What?
I gave Paige a little preview.
What are you talking about?
Well, you know those publicity stills of the porno movie that I had in the envelope with me this morning?
Yes?
I slipped them under the door of the shop she's planning to open in the Galleria.
You didn't.
I did. I only wish I could have been there to see the look on her face when she opened the envelope.
Elliot, who could have done this?
I don't know.
It's so horrible. Finding that envelope and opening up the pictures.
Paige is going to be all right. Who had a copy of these pictures, do you know?
No one had copies.
Well, obviously someone had,
The only copies are in the district attorney's office.
along with the movie.
They were all part of evidence for Crishaw murder trial. When Dennis was cleared, the DA never released them.
Did you ever ask anybody in the DA's office about it?
Yes, I spoke to them. They told me there was so much red tape that they'd get back to me later.
Who had the film and the stills originally?
Chris.
And he had the only print of the film.
That's what he told me.
And this envelope was just slipped under your door in the boutique.
Yes.
What did you tell Nita? She must have seen how upset you were.
Oh, I said something about real estate man. I'm not sure she believed me.
Well, that's the least of your worries.
Elliot, who could have done this?
Obviously, whoever did it was trying very hard to upset you, and it seems that they did just that.
Elliot, what if it were Dennis?
Raina was just telling me about a little discovery she made.
I bet.
Is that why you refused to go to the doctor? Or you never suffered from morning sickness? Or you never acted like you were pregnant? Because you weren't pregnant.
Justin, if you'll excuse me, I'll leave.
You stay right where you are. You started all this, little lady. You stay here till it's finished.
Why? So she can gloat over you making a fool out of me? You want to see that? How could you do this to me, Ashley? The one most important thing in my life, you used it to trick me.
Oh, this is just wonderful. I really appreciate the trust you have in me, Justin. All Miss Raina has to do is just come marching in here with some kind of a story and you accept it as gospel? That really makes me feel good.
You haven't denied anything yet.
Go ahead and accuse me, Justin.
Are you pregnant?
Yes. I am. I assumed that you would believe me. But I have the test results and the medical report to prove it.